What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Cooper Motorsports. And today, well, we're showing a different kind of vehicle on the channel. We are still cars, but different size. This is a Tamiya TT-02 Porsche 911 GT3 992 that I recently just built and painted, put all together. And we're going to get into the car today, and we'll get into the meat potatoes of the electronics that's in here. Some of the stuff came with the car, some of the stuff did not come with the car, like the receiver and controller are aftermarket. But we're going to get into that. But first, if you haven't already and you are a returning viewer to my channel, make sure you subscribe and like and leave a comment. And if you're a returning viewer that has not yet subscribed, I'm gonna hold off on your subscription. You don't have to subscribe right away. Wait till the end of the video. I'm gonna earn your subscription. Without further ado, let's get into this Tamiya TT-02. So you just saw the B-rolls of this car, and this is the Porsche. As I said previously, 911 GT3. Looks realistic. Looks so lifelike, honestly, sitting here. We're going to get into the color. So this color is something that I created, and I call liquid red. And as you can see, the reason I call it liquid red is because it just has that liquidy kind of flow to it, especially when the light hits it in different angles and the way the sun hits it too. It's pretty cool. I absolutely love it. When I get this car in real life, I probably will go with a custom color like this because Porsche allows you to. But enough about the real Porsche. That's for future. Let's pop this body off and get into the electronics. And boom, here you have it, guys, the Tamiya TT-02 chassis. So let's go and get into what came with the car, or with this chassis. So what came with it was the 540 torque tune motor, just your standard brushed 540 Tamiya motor, and it came with the ESC and switch here. This also came with the car. The only thing I had to get, because like I said previously, I just got back in this hobby again. I was into it a few years ago, sold all my stuff though, and so right off the bat I had to get a battery and a charger as well. I'll show you guys that in probably in this video. I'll head back to my workshop or my bench, so to speak, and I'll show you the charger and stuff. Yeah, but so I had to get a servo for the steering. There's my steering servo, and this is the receiver, and it is a FlySky receiver. If we can pull back the wiring here, you can actually see the model number. There it is, FSGR3E. This came in with the controller, and this is a very nice controller, by the way. So if you flip this, it's got this shield. Hold on, one-handed here. One sec. It has this nice shield that protects your buttons and switches here. So you got your steering trim and throttle trim, DR steer as well, and your power. Then there's your charger. So if you turn on the power here, that is flashing, which means the car's not on. So if you turn the car on, it should stop flashing. But it's not. Oh, you know, it could be. There we go. And this stops flashing as well. So if they're connected. There you go. So yes. And there's your charging indicator, because this is actually USB charge, and there's the charging port right there. I know I saw some reviews where a lot of people didn't like the charge port being way up there. They said it should be like down here somewhere. But honestly, I don't mind where it is. It does the job, right? So here, let's just turn the car off. Always turn the chassis off first. than the remote. And that prevents runaway, because if you actually turn the remote off and leave the car on, sometimes the car can take off on you. And my buddy's RC has a habit of doing that. He has a red cat, that's probably why. Anyway, so back to this. So you might notice that this fan, you probably notice this fan immediately. When I turn the car on, you can hear it. So this is a cooling fan for the 540 motor. And the reason I got this fan is because I noticed that after hard runs, the motor would be really, really, really hot. You can actually feel it under the chassis. And accidentally, when I was turning this off one day, I guess my finger slipped and touched the motor right here. There was a plastic cover over this from Tamiya, which I did install, but I still kind of touched the bare metal right here, and I practically nearly burnt my finger. And I was thinking, that can't be good, so I went out and got this fan to keep the motor cool, and it actually works. The motor stays pretty warm. So now let's reveal the battery here. Let's take this out. There we go. Swing it out. There it is. We have an Emepovgy 7.2 volt 5000 mAh nickel hydride battery. This battery here will give me a good hour runtime. Not so bad, especially if I'm not at full throttle. If I was at full throttle all the time, I'm pretty sure it'd be like 30-40 minutes tops, especially now with this fan. Might be a little less, probably like by a minute, because the fan doesn't really take up that much energy at all. Sorry, when you put this thing together, the wheelbase, we gotta talk about this. This is based on the short wheelbase, which is 251 millimeters. When I built this car, I built it to the specs of the instruction booklet that came with the kit. It says standard wheelbase, short wheelbase. Short wheelbase is in the back of the book. Well, I made the standard wheelbase, which would bring the wheel. It used to, like right now, I'll sit like this. Like that looks normal, right? Well, when I built the car, the rear wheels were sitting like this, a little bit off, and I'm like looking at them, I'm like, there's something wrong. So one night I decided to deep dive into this. Come to find out that I accidentally built this on the standard 257 millimeter, and this is on a 251 millimeter, so 6 millimeter difference. And it's so easy to adjust the wheelbase on this. So what you do is you take off the upper and lower control arms. I'm trying to flip the car up so you can see what I'm talking about. There's the control arms, and all you do is you turn them around. So you kind of flip them upside down or something. So instead of Tamiya stamp here, it'd be over on this side for the long wheelbase on both sides. And then up here is this little piece would be on this side, but instead it's flipped. So that's all you do. You just flip the control arms and it adjusts your wheelbase accordingly. So I learned that with this car, because the other RC cars that I built in the past on this chassis were the long wheelbase. I didn't have to make the wheelbase short, so I just built it right out of the book, not a problem. And I guess I fell into that same trap with this one, but live and learn. I took it apart one night, adjusted it, here we are. So, and modifications wise, the only thing I would modify on this, if I'm being completely honest, is the shocks. These are just the standard TT-02 shocks. There's no oil in here. It's just like it's on a spring kind of thing. So it's like spring loaded kind of. So what I would do is I would go and get the Tamiya the hop up parts, I think it's what it's called. And I get the oil filled shocks. Because it does its job. Like the suspension does its job, but it doesn't do it gracefully. So what I mean is, over certain bumps, it kind of looks like a car in real life that's got its shocks blown out. It kind of has that little bounce to it. But other than that, yeah. Well, I didn't even notice that this was in here. What? This is what happens when you guys play hard. This happens when we play hard with our cars, our RCs, or whatever. Find debris. Get out of there. Anyway, let's get the body back on the chassis, and we'll close this out. Alright, there we have it. the Porsche 911 GT3 992 Tamiya TT-02 RC car, remote control car. Top speed on this car is around 30 kilometers per hour, roughly, for me. One thing I want to mention here is, oh, I'm sorry, there's probably some kids playing here. They're playing near me. They just showed up. Anyway, so the spoiler here. Let's talk about this for a second, because this spoiler here, I'm not gonna lie, it took a minute to get this perfect. One of the reasons is that the bolts for the spoiler, I don't know if you can see in there, but that nut in there is pretty small. So yeah, assembling this was not the easiest feat, but here it is anyway. It looks great. Honestly, I love this swan neck spoiler on this. It's so cool. One of the things I want to mention though is that this spoiler is actually functional. You can actually feel it doing something when this car is going at speed. And I know everyone's going to say it's a toy car. Well, technically it's not really a toy, as it's professional. But this spoiler actually does something. You actually feel the back end kind of squatting a little bit. You actually feel the tires up here. They get a little get a little loose, whatever. So yeah, loses its front end bite. That's what I was looking for. It loses its front end bite because there's so much downforce in the back. So I might get some like little like wheel weights, like what they use for to balance your tires in real life. Well, if I get some wheel weights, I can tuck them in underneath that, on top of that foam bumper in the front there, which would help keep the front secure to the ground. What size wheel weight will I need? I don't know. I have to experiment, find out. Just get one of each. Just try one of each at first. But anyway, yeah, here she is in all her glory. The next thing I want to mention too is that the rims on here are not from the Tamiya TT-02 kit. These are aftermarket rims that look identical to the rims you would find on a real Porsche 911 GT3. So when I found these, I had to put them on. I found them, I had to install them, and I kept the obviously the tires that came with the kit. One quick thing to note here is that this car is not set up for drift. It is actually set up to do grip runs. It's set up to do racing. Just like the real Porsche 911. Okay, guys, welcome to my little work table here. So right now I'm charging the battery, and this is my charger. It is a Sky RC E4S multi-chemistry compact charger, and what that means is that this charger can charge almost any type of RC battery, right from LiPo all the way down to nickel hydride. Right now, this battery is at 5,000 mAh, which means if I was to charge this right now at 5 amp, which is the highest amp you can go, this would be charged in about an hour. But because I'm concerned with heat and battery life, I'm going to charge at 2 amp, and this way the battery will be charged at a decent rate. It may take a little longer to charge, maybe like 2 hours to charge, but at least I'm protecting the lifespan of this battery, and I'll get more charge cycles out of it. So always keep that in mind when you're charging these batteries. Don't just go for the highest one just because you want a fast charge. Unless you're like in a competition or something, then maybe like you're switching batteries back and forth. So you're running the track, you're running the course, you're running for like maybe 40 minutes to an hour, and then you got pit, change your battery out, pop another one in, you're going to put the other battery back on the charge, and that's when you may use the 5 amp. But if you're just doing what I'm doing, just cruising around, charging at 2 amp is just enough. So keep that in mind when you're charging this. But now, let's head back outside and wrap up this video. Well, I believe that concludes today's video. I hope you all enjoyed the presentation of my Tamiya TT-02 Porsche 911 GT3 992. I don't know why I have to say 992. I think we all know what this is. Porsche fans probably already know what this car is. I'm a huge Porsche fan, so yeah. With that being said, I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and I hope I earned a subscription from you guys if you already haven't been subscribed. And for those that are returning to the channel and have subscribed, make sure you are subscribed because YouTube and their weird stuff going on. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Speaking of down below, I'm going to make sure that I have everything, all electronics here listed for this car in the description down below as well. And without further ado, guys, I'm going to get out of here because the sun is starting to set and I'm losing my light. And I want to run this car a little bit more before going inside. So, see you all in the next one. Take it easy. And remember, keep the racing off the street and keep it on your local racetrack. And for all my RC guys out there, keep playing. Catch you later.